Okay, hi guys! So today I'm doing a video on abortion and veganism, which are two very heated topics, and I want to start off this video by saying that I don't really care whether you think abortion is good or is bad. I don't really care if you would like to pursue an abortion for yourself or not. I don't really care if you think abortion is immoral or moral, as long as it's only about you. When I have an issue with your behavior is when you start opposing others' rights to get an abortion, or when you start criticizing women who do so, or basically when you sort of, call yourself pro-life with everything that comes with it. And why I am doing a video today about abortion is not to talk about abortion and how it's unfortunately and very sadly and very alarmingly threatened in many places in the world, but I want to talk about abortion as a vegan and how you can be obviously pro-choice and a vegan, because as surprising as it might sound, it's a question that often comes back, and I think most of the time it comes from a place of wanting to discredit veganism, or trying to make it seem like it's a stance or a position that's incoherent. I am pro-choice first of all because as a human being, as a woman, as a feminist, as someone who believes in science and scientific facts, as someone who thinks that children should come on this earth because they're wanted and because they're going to be cherished and in the best conditions possible, I don't believe that you should keep a child at all costs, and there are so many different factors and so many different situations which are so special and unique on how you get pregnant, and I think it's something to really take into consideration. When you get an abortion, basically you get it done on a fetus which is in utero, and you can't get an abortion. I mean, you probably know this, but you can't get an abortion at any time you want, and there's a limit, there's a law, and this law is made so that you can get an abortion before the fetus actually starts developing an ability to feel pain, before it becomes sentient. So basically it's kind of still debated within the scientific community, but not very much, and it's much more accepted that until this certain period of time, this certain moment, a fetus does not feel pain. It might seem very simple and perhaps an oversimplification of the issue, but for me it's still a very major fact. Whereas when you're killing animals, exploiting, raping, abusing animals, you're doing it on someone who is sentient, 100% sure, feeling pain, being sad, being scared, who can understand a lot more than you would think, and who is more intelligent than the fetus in your utero. So if you're coming from a very logical point of view perspective and an anti-speciesist point of view and perspective, it's like obviously it's a much lesser harm to get an abortion than to kill a sentient, fully developed animal, no matter their species. I do get that, a fetus or an embryo, it's life, they are life, but they are life forms, and life comes in very different forms. You have life in water, you have life in trees, you have life in vegetables and fruits, and in me and in animals and you have life in cells as well. So there's a very big difference between an animal which is alive and a fetus for a certain time. And just the simple fact that you would feel closer from, like, I'm not saying like if you feel closer because you're the same species to some level, it's fine, but when it starts to make you feel like it's okay to kill an animal, but it's not okay to kill a non-sentient, not fully developed by any means form of life that is human, I think it's a big issue. It's really speciesist, and it's really very ethno and human-centered, and I don't agree with that at all. And in fact, I think we share more common things with a pig or a cow or a dog or a monkey that's alive, that's lived 3 years, that's had experiences, that has feelings, emotions, who feels pain, who has relationships, than we do with a fetus that hasn't lived at all. And I'm not saying this is a reason to disrespect a fetus or to hurt them or to take abortion lightly. Also, people say, you know, how would you feel if your parents had decided to abort you? You wouldn't be here. And that, I think it's a very silly argument, really. You can't compare a human being that's lived, who has experience, who has relationships and has values and has had time to figure themselves out and build their personality with a fetus. I think philosophically speaking, it's very different to have a potential life and to have a life that's accomplishing itself. I think those are very different things, and it might sound like a very subtle and very little nuance, but it actually matters in my opinion. Another thing that's really to take into consideration is the reasons why women get abortions. You know, it's never an easy or never a happy choice, even if you're completely pro-choice. But you know, women choose to abort because they can't have a child right now because, you know, maybe they don't want a child, and that's an enough reason to get an abortion, because how happy would a child be if it came undesired and unwanted, you know, or financially or emotionally or for health reasons or for a different, you know, variety of factors, and that's to be respected. Whereas when you kill animals, whether it's for food, for clothes, for entertainment, when you abuse and exploit them, it is just for your pleasure. It is not out of necessity, and it is not out of care for a potential life or for your own life. So those are very, very, very different things, and those reasons should be taken into consideration. Also, I just want to say that very often, and more often than not, the reasons why someone is pro-choice is mostly pro-life, sorry. And I really don't like this saying and this term, but you know, why someone is pro-life is because of religious ideas, which are either based on a book and an interpretation of that book, or what would an authority figure in that religion say. And I am a believer myself, but I have kept enough intellectual and thinking independency to just question what those authorities would say, what this or that book would say, and go with science, my own independent thinking process, my own values. And therefore I do not want lives of women around the world or my own life to be dictated by what some people would say, or what a book would say, or what an interpretation of that book say, all of those being so far away from being God itself. So for me, the question is not really can you be a vegan and can you be pro-choice. The question is more, how can you call yourself pro-life and not be vegan? How can you justify and accept the exploitation, how can you accept the exploitation of animals for no good reason at all? How can you accept the killing of so many species, the deforestation, the destruction of our environment, our planet, polluting of our waters, and all those things that comes with eating or consuming animals or animal products, and call yourself pro-life? You know, if your pro-life only stops for abortion, you really aren't pro-life. Yeah, that was just a little video because it's a question I get often. I hope this answered your question, but once again, I just want to say that's only my opinion, my position. I'm not talking for all vegans out there. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope this was interesting. Let me know what you think, guys, and I shall see you soon. Bye!